सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्यो मा अमृतं गमय। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम्।
So very good morning to all of you. Please be online. So I will give the outline about what the experiments to be done at the end of the session. And discussion about that last 10 minutes. I think that is enough to talk about that if needed. Okay, please be online. I will start sharing a PPT. We will proceed with that content. After half an hour, I will talk about that. Fabrics. So currently we are here. Chapter 4, 4.3. Today we are going to discuss about Internet Protocol, the format of datagram, fragmentation, what is the meaning of IPv4, network address translation, it's called a NAT, and IPv6. Afterwards, 4.4, generalized forward and SDN. What is the concept of SDN? So this is the next topic we are going to discuss. The internet network layer. So today we are going to see about network layer. Already we have started, but at the same time, the protocol wise in the OSI layer format, what type of the common process is being planned inside the network layer as a whole. We are going to see here. The internet network layer, as per the OSI layer, the higher order layers, which already we discussed, the transport layer. In the transport layer, we discussed about TCP, UDP, and above that application layer. Now currently we are here in the network layer. The next layers are the link layer and physical layers. So the routing protocols. What type of routing can be implemented? How the path can be selected. If the input packet is coming, which is packetized by the transport layer, when it is just a minute, please hold on. Okay. So the major fundamental operation is the routing protocols and IP, internet protocol, because connecting from one networking element to the another networking devices, especially not only a simply switching device, it's a networking device. It's a router. The routing element, especially in the network layer, that is a maximum highly evolved device, especially which can perform the switching operation. During our introduction session, we discussed the first, very foremost, very fundamental switching element is called hub. Input will be available in all port, irrespective of whether the port is engaged or not. Hub. The next intelligent level is called switch. The switch can have a forwarding table. Based on the forwarding table which we had discussed earlier in the previous slides, the incoming data packets, if it has the destination address, this particular ranges for a different range of addresses, will be routed through a specific type of ports to avoid the congestions. Somewhat relatively good in terms of intelligence. The next level of thing is that the router, which can decide and which can speak, which can connect with the multiple devices like outside the world, the router. So to connect with the one device with another routing devices, we need a common ID that's called the networking ID. So IP address, Internet Protocol. For that, the IP protocol is used. Address conventions, the datagrams, all those things we are going to discuss about that. So that is also being performed inside a network layer. So which device has to be connected and how that path has to be decided, all these fundamental operations is being performed over here. And ICMP protocol, so Internet Control Message Protocol. So here in a routing protocol, IP protocols, ICMP protocol, all these things. So the meaning of the routing protocols and RIP, OSPF, BGP. So RIP is a routing information protocol, RIP. Border Gateway Protocol, BGP. OSPF, all these things were evolved for a period. Open shortest path first, that protocol. So all these things were related to the routing protocols. So Internet Control Message Protocol, ICMP. So that is also a part of the connectivity between one networking device to the another networking device. So these are all the whenever you imagine about what is happening in the networking layer, first you please recollect this. Then after, from here you can start exploring more. Okay, that's the idea. IP datagram format. Now the structure of the Internet Protocol data we are going to see here. About the version. Just a minute. Yeah. About the version, what is the type of version? A header length, type of service, the length, and 16-bit identifier, and flags, fragment offset value, and time to live, TTL. This is called TTL, time to live. This keyword we use to interact many times when we come for the other experiments. Please hold on. I'm sorry for have some technical issues. Just a minute. So the type of service. And time to live, it's very important. How much duration this particular packet can be alive. Packet in the sense the internet protocol datagram packet, how much time it can live. So at that time also can be decided here. And header checksum, 32-bit source IP address, 32-bit destination IP address. Based on this only normally, if any internet packets is being received from the outside, from where the packet is coming, where actually it's supposed to move. These two addresses are very important. And the data. So all these things are header. Real data is here only. So the data variable length, typically a TCP or UDP segment. So what we packed in the higher order layer, no, the network layer, that information will be available. Very important. If you open this particular data available inside, if you see that data inside, that also will have some formatting what we discussed earlier in the network layer. So that is the data. So the data means it is our, not our, for example, if we type some text character, not that text character, it won't be there directly over here. So the higher order packed information is a segment, one segment bundle will be here as a data. So in that perspective, we have to see. So this is the IP Internet Protocol datagram format. So what I have discussed, the same thing is given here. So what is the maximum overhead size is possible? 20 bytes, 20 bytes of IP. So these are all the 40 bytes plus app layer overhead. So maximum of one IP protocol can have a maximum of 40 bytes. It's approximate value over here. So now IP fragmentation and reassembly. What is happening? You see, so there is a source and destination, the networking devices. PC wants to connect to the other network. Intermediately, multiple switching elements are there. Assume that since it is connected with the external world, then surely it must be having IP address. If it is having IP address, then it is a router. Okay. When the packet wants to move, so a device which wants to connect with the other device which is connected through a networked element, how a packet can be addressed. So from the source of data, before that anyone can say that which particular layer is origin for any data. Anyone? From which layer the data is being produced?
Application.
Is it application? Anyone? Why it is application layer? Yeah, your answer is correct, but and how? Keeping what in mind that application layer was told?
Application layer only data is in the form of messages.
Yeah.
Through application layer only users are able to
interact with the computing devices. So yeah, good, very good. So the application layer, there only the data is being produced as a user, human user. We can give a command to the systems only through the application layer. So the other configurations, whatever things, if we want to, the lower order configurations, mostly the user cannot touch in that. Even a configuration, IP address changes and all those, even that everything is done only in application layer, but which corresponds to the lower order layers. So from the application layer, when the data is coming down, for example, when we type a character, any characters or audio, video, something which is generated at application layer, when it's propagating from the top layer to the down layer, the size of the actual data character A, assume for our discussion, when it comes to the down layer, so then transport layer, the segmentations. So it is done. So some small segments is being created. So character A with all the header, okay, which we discussed earlier. So which will talk about the TCP transmission control protocol, and then all the transport related things, RDT and all this which we discussed. Everything has to be processed over there. The next down layer, the networking layer. So when it comes to the network layer, that same character is going to become a bulkier in size in this format. So the transport layer data is coming here. In addition, the new addition is also being added like this. All this information is going to be added with that. So like a small information produced by the user in the application layer, when it is coming down to the propagator to the lower order layer, the size of the layer is increasing, size of the packet, size of the packet in the sense, in a generic term I'm saying, when it is crossing the same data, each layer when it is crossing, it has a different names. So here segment it's actually talked about. So the segment. So in the transport layer, data is being converted into a segment. Data may have a bigger in size. It has to be converted into small chunks like that. So packetizing done. Each packet will be given with a specific IP addresses. That processing is being done over here. Why I'm saying all those things is that this visualization will give you the idea about to understand what is the meaning of a throughput. Throughput is actually nothing but a character which we have typed A from the application layer. When it is propagating, when it is coming out from the physical layer, actually the character A may be a 8-bit. But when it is propagating as per the protocol structure, as per the OSI, when it reaches to the down layer, sometimes it may become a, for our understanding, I am saying this, but in a real fact already you are seeing this, how big things are happening there. But all these things are needed. The header means it is needed, like, so then only because it's a packet switching. So when it reaches into the physical layer, it will become sometimes 100 bits, 128 bits, like that. So why I'm saying is this. This is a place you can visualize what is the power of wired communication. What is the flexibility of wireless communication? Where we can go for a wired system, where we can go for a wireless system. That decision we can make it over here. How? I'll tell you. When it comes to the bottom layer, to communicate 8-bit message, that's a meaningful message, from application layer to the another destination application layer, that 8-bit will be visualized as a 8-bit character at the other application layer. So intermediately multiple processes are happening, we discussed. So so from application layer to application layer, so only 8-bit data, when it is coming to the physical layer, sometimes for our discussion say it's a 128 bits. So this 128 bit is only actually is going to communicate it. Then at receiver physical layer, it will receive 128. But the net result, we want to communicate this 8-bit information successfully. To carry this 8-bit information, how many processing happens here in multiple layers? So here in this way, to communicate 8-bit out of 128 bits, one meaningful message is 120 only 8-bit is taken. So this will give you the idea about what is a throughput. So in a different books, we can get a different interpretation for the throughput also. In this way, please have a look on. It's very important phenomenon. Whenever you go for any technical interview, first foremost question they may ask about what is throughput. Okay, this is that. But when you come here for the case of a wired medium, for this may be a 128. But when you go for a wireless medium, if it is a channel, something is wireless. So physical layer. From this there is an antenna, like in our Wi-Fi hotspot at our home, even in a college campus, wherever you go. We may feel that yes, there is a comfort. Yeah, because it's mobile. We can move. Both transmitter may be fixed somewhere, or both are transceiver. So one end user, they can start move easily. That flexibility is there, but at what cost? What is the cost is here. This wireless channel is going to make a lot of problems. So currently you are studying in the digital communication subject, how the data is going to propagated from source to the destination, how the waveform can be created, what type of a modulation scheme in a baseband modulation, PAM, pulse amplitude modulation, pulse position modulation, and Gram-Schmidt orthogonalization process, how to structure the waveform, all those things. Then baseband, passband. What I am saying is that all these things are related to our physical layer. We must be aware of that. I am giving an outline. Then when it comes to the wireless medium, all these things has a problem. In the sense, sorry, for a baseband part, I gave a techniques. There is a technique is called a passband. Passband is nothing but it's an RF field, radio frequency band. So baseband signal will be shifted towards to the passband by doing a modulation. That modulation may be any ASK, amplitude shift keying, frequency shift keying, phase shift keying, quadrature amplitude modulation. All are having M-array, PAM, M-array, sorry, not PAM, sorry, M-array QAM, M-array PSK, M-array, all these things stops. That type of modulation scheme will give you the idea about how to send which type of modulation scheme is good for that particular scenario. Lot of experimentation done based on that schemes were used. Why I am connecting here is that by sending a one bit of information from here to here, it is not that easy. We may send is but 1, but it will be received at 0. The communication totally failure in the sense what we have transmitted, it was not received at the other end successfully. Then total communication failure. Then what to do? Instead of sending one bit once, you transmit 1 3 times. Receive the same information 1 0 1, something like that. Out of 3 bit, 1 bit is becoming error. So from these 3 bits, we can get idea which is occurring more times. 1 bits occurred 2 times out of 3 bits. So then we can get an idea that okay, this maybe belongs to 1. Why I am saying is that originally we had a 8 bit. When it comes to the physical layer, because of all the protocol structure, it becoming into 128. Now this 128 is going to be multiplied by the factor 3. Just to imagine, for our understanding, I am taking this example. This 128, 100, 300, 128 into 3. If you are following a repetition code, there is this schemes are called information theory and coding schemes. It's called channel coding schemes. I don't know in which course you are going to talk about that. Maybe sometimes it may be a part of the digital communication also. That code is actually going to repeat the same information 3 times. The resulting effect is nothing but 128 bit actually we supposed to send. Because of the wireless medium here, we don't have any other reason, because the wireless channel, when we send the information, the signal may get disrupted multiple environmental parameters. So the deciding factor at the receiver, it cannot decide it whether the received signal belongs to 0 or 1. To support the decision, yes, that maybe belongs to 0 or 1. For that purpose, the coding scheme is used. That's why it's called a channel coding. Impact created by a channel can be nullified by using a channel coding scheme. Now, what will happen? At what cost all these things are happening? You just will imagine. Earlier, we have communicated 128 bits from here to here. Even that itself, we found that the throughput became out of 128, only the 8 bit is a meaningful message. It's in a wired medium. When you come for a wireless medium, what is the throughput? It's becoming a 8 bit meaningful message. 128 bit is going to be multiplied by 3. Then what happens in the net? In a wired communication system, comparing with a wired system, the wireless communication system, the throughput is 3 times less. That is the meaning. So now I'm coming for the real scenario. Hope you might have seen some of the mobile phone devices. You might have seen that the GBPS, that bandwidth or data throughput is possible through these particular devices, 100 Mbps to 200 Mbps and all those things. That all these things are giving explanation for the wireless based device. We have to think in that way. In wireless, for example, for our discussion, say 10 Mbps speed can be provided by the wireless device. That means, as per our discussion here, 10 Mbps divided by 3, only that much amount of the bandwidth the device can provide if we connect through a wired medium. So sometimes in a wired medium, we can get a feel that the bandwidth is relatively low. But when we, as a user, when we work with the device, we will get a feel that relatively faster when it is connected through wired medium. But when you go for a wireless medium, they might have given the number 10 Mbps speed. But when we connect with the multiple users, multiple user case is secondary, then we will discuss later. At least for a one single user itself, if you see that 128, that the total bandwidth is 10 Mbps divided by 3, only that will be experienced. So as a end user, we can visualize this one when we connect with that. So why I'm saying all the point is that when you see any technical specification of a wired medium or wireless medium, we may see all these parameters. If it is a wireless, we have to be careful. It may seem that it look like that, okay, it's faster as per the technical parameter. But anyhow, we have to study in detail about. But to the layman level, how to understand. That's why I'm giving. So the throughput is coming down very less. 3 times is less as per our discussion here. 3 times is lesser than the wired medium. So wherever possible, wherever you are getting a chance, the wired connection is available, then you can prefer that. That's point number 1. Second one, even at a home, we may have a wireless medium. And that wireless medium, if at a home, many people, all our family members, 5 members, if everybody wants to access that. But at least 1 or 2 members, they are very close to that Wi-Fi hotspot, which they can connect through a cable. You can prefer that. Why I'm saying is that sharing on the total bandwidth can be divided, can be reduced. So the total bandwidth of 10 Mbps, if it is so, for a Wi-Fi, currently available Wi-Fi models are 100 Mbps or 10 Mbps. In the different types of specifications are there. If you go for that, 5 users are there, the total bandwidth is going to be divided by 5 users. If we make the wired connectivity with one computer, then the rest of the persons only is going to share the wireless medium. So this is the very important part. So currently we experience the same thing when we go for inside our college campus. So today, since it's the first hour, I'm at my home. After finishing the home, I have to leave to the college campus. Here I feel a little bit comfort, but when I go inside a college campus, relatively, because earlier we didn't experience this type of network issue, because currently all faculties, they used to take a class by using the wireless medium, using a hotspot, and everyone will start sharing the same hotspot. The delay will be there. That's why the network quality is also becoming very poor. That experience actually we all experience, because every day when all students regularly, when they are inside a college campus, normally they used to connect with the internet through Wi-Fi, but it is not in a streaming level. Just connect the data and get the data information for that purpose. But currently it is not like that. The highly throughput, in the sense bandwidth occupancy is relatively higher because of this video streaming. So the network has a certain limit on that. So that we experience over there. Then what is to be done to improve this? There is no other go. We have to increase the higher order switching devices, which we discussed earlier. We have to change the switching devices first number. Then the specification of the Wi-Fi hotspot has to be changed, and a dual band devices are available, 2.4 gigahertz and the 5 gigahertz. For video streaming, is a 5 gigahertz relatively good. So if there is no other go. So when huge number of demand is coming, that's the way we have to do. So all these things are practically every day-to-day life we experience that. I have connected all the content with respect to our course here. Do you have any doubts up to now? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So now this is the way that how the packet is traveling. It's fragmented. The concept of fragmentation we are going to discuss. Yeah. One large datagram, one bigger datagram can be divided into 3 smaller datagrams. So from the one network packet to the network router to the another router, it can be splitted into small chunks, even in a network layer itself. Already we discussed about segmentation. The keyword segmentation corresponds to the transport layer. Here in the network layer, it's called as a IP fragment. So convert a total bigger size into a small, then it will be splitted into, then finally it will be reassembled once again. So concept is this much. So how the fragmentations can be done? So some examples given here. I will go through this. You see, the length of the fragmentation is the ID. So because when we do a fragmentation, since it all belongs to a packet, that which fragment belongs to which particular IP data packet or datagram, then we must be aware of that. For that, the ID has to be used. You see here, this is the bigger in size of length of 4000 ID X, a flag value. It's a template. There is a template. We can have a look on that. So the large datagram becomes into a smaller datagram. Each is being divided into 1500, 1500 and 1040. This 40 is nothing but the 40 bytes of the additional header information, which has the ID X. So all belongs to X, that's the meaning. So flag 0, fragmentation flag 1, yes, it's a fragmentation. Is there any offset? No, 0 offset. Fragmentation flag, yes, this is a packet which is received. Is it a fragment or not? If it is 1 means yes, it is fragmented from the bigger chunk, bigger datagram. Okay, if it is 1, that's the meaning of that. It is divided, then the offset is 185. So the meaning of 185 in the sense, the first fragment is like this one. Second fragment, when it is received from there, it has to be shifted for 185 bytes. Then you stitch it. Okay, then after this fragment, hereafter, is there any fragmentation done? No. So this is the end point of that fragmentation. That idea, it can be received from this. Then offset from the 0, how much? So from origin 370 bytes. Okay, move here. Then you do a stitching. Then we'll get an idea. Okay, the combine all together is what? Is the original packet here. So this is the idea of a fragmentation. Okay. 480 bytes in a data field. So what I have explained, the same thing. So this is all about the IP addresses. Okay. So I will talk about the lab experiment explanations tomorrow. I will finish this flow. Tomorrow at what time we are having class? Afternoon 1. I think in 12 o'clock or okay, I will check the timetable. Okay. So you will be given with a 1 week time to submit your the next assignment. Okay. So IP addressing. So since it's coming in a flow, then I will finish all these things. This content is very important today, what we see. IP address, 32-bit identifier for a host router interface. This is currently we use in our computers. Hope all of you are aware of how to set your IP address of your system. Yes? How many of you are aware how to change your IP address of your computers? Please raise your hands. How to change the IP address of your computers? Only one person, Aditya. Oh, rest of the people?
Sir, I'm on my phone. I can't raise my hand.
Oh, okay, Kishore. Anybody, any others? How many of you are aware of that? How to change the IP address? Dana, Karthik, Divya. And Srivatsan, Nitesh. Soumya, Vishwanathan. Yes. So I got some more Gokul Krishna. Fine. Okay. Please, all of you explore that how to change the IP address of your systems. We can change the IP address by our own, but we have to be very cautious. You must be thoroughly aware of how to convert the manual mode of IP address from the automatic DHCP. It's called a dynamic host control protocol. When you connect with at your home, by default, the IP addresses will be assigned by the router. Okay, that is a part of this network layer. We will be discussing about DHCP, and we will talk about that. So now, assume that this is a one network, 223.1.1.1. This is nothing but the IP address which we discussed. 223 is a decimal number. If we represent decimal number in terms of a binary, we'll get a 8-bit representation. 2 power 8 is 256. FF dot FF dot FF dot FF. It's in a hexadecimal representation. So the same thing is written here. Okay, it's nothing but it's a 32-bit representation written in terms of a decimal number. That's all. Okay. So each device will have its own IP address. 223.1.1.1. Then assume that this is our computer lab 1. There is another computer lab. I hope you might have seen in a main building, computer lab 1, 2. Normally they used to have the IP addresses like this. Not this one, I think 117.64 or something, some other IP addresses they used to follow that. That's only for internal IP addresses. Okay, 223.1.2, you see here, they are making a group of one particular lab. Assume in a particular lab, maximum of 255 computers can be connected. 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 like that. 1.255 up to the maximum. So the second group 2.1, this may be a computer lab 2, 2.1, 2.2 like that. So to distinguish between one computer lab to the other lab, from the number which we have here, we can easily distinguish. Like that, the third lab. Okay. So there is a concept is called subnet masking. That part we will discuss. So one computer lab, if they want to connect with this computer with the other computer, we know the source IP address, the destination IP address, people can connect. But sometimes, hope you might have, I don't know whether you have experienced or not that one inside our college campus. During the time of examinations, all the network will be, especially on that particular lab, the network connectivity, internet connectivity, they used to disconnect. How it is possible? So they will be having the control on the administrator can give a control, the subnet mask based on that particular subnet version of the connected devices have to be detached from the network connection. That can be made it because the applications are available for that to do this. Okay. So all interfaces are actually connected. So that in detail content we will discuss in the forthcoming topic. So the Ethernet connection, how it is made, there are switches over here inside a lab, and this may be a router. Inside a lab, all computers got connected through a switch. That switch is got connected to the router. Like that, each lab is got connected like this. So there are separate devices called a Wi-Fi network. Everything is got connected. To distinguish between one group with the other group, they have made it a separate 223.1.3. Okay, wherever the IP address comes as 3, so it is very easy to identify. Yes, this belongs to that particular IP addresses. Oh, okay, the wired network that the packet is coming from that particular lab. All these things can be done. Now we are coming for the subnet. This subnet is very important. IP address. The higher order bits. So subnet is actually, we'll talk about, it is as a mask, subnet masks. Just a minute, I'll take you the number. Yes, 223.1.1.0/24. That means the higher order 24 bits. From the top, the higher order 24 bits will be used as a one mask. So after 24, remaining 8 bits are there. That 8 bits will be used. 8 bits is nothing but the last decimal value. We'll talk about that means a subnet which has, I'll give you the another example here in the case here. Just a minute. So 40, 1, 2, 3, 4 segments. 4 segments, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if it is the 24 bits in the sense out of 32, this higher order bits is being masked. It's called subnet mask. This 24 actually talks about that. From the IP address, higher order 24 bits will not be visualized. Only the lower order bits can communicate with each other. For example, 128, sorry, as per the example here, 223. Oh, I'm sorry. This higher order 223.1.1.1 is there, no? The remaining 1, 2, 3, 24, all these value will be visible. Everyone can speak within a room. That's the meaning of that. If I'm giving the subnet is equal to 24, I'll tell you. So inside this classroom, assume that 255 computers are there. 255 computers are there. All these 255 computers must connect among themselves. If we want to make setup like that, how the subnet should be. So 255.255. This is called subnet mask. I will show you at 0.
Sir,
Hello.
sir, like
Oh,
we
it's
have
time. Yeah.
the
Okay,
class,
I
sir.
didn't notice that. I didn't notice the time. Yes, we will finish here. In the next class, I will show you the demo of this in my laptop and session for this one. Okay. Thank you. I will stop the session here.